Hi everyone! It's been a while since the last time I uploaded a video on our YouTube channel. I've been slacking off recently. This is a special video. I wanted to share with you guys my journey, my experience during my citizenship interview. So recently I passed my US citizenship interview. Now I'm just waiting for the letter to come in the mail for my oath-taking ceremony. So I'm gonna jump in right into how this process started. As far as I can remember, I submitted my N400 application online at the end of January 2020. And then 2 weeks after that, did my biometrics. So my application began before the pandemic happened. So I think it's about like a month or so. So for a while, USCIS, their offices were closed. So I didn't hear from them. There was silence for a year until I received an email from USCIS stating that they have taken actions in my case and blah blah blah. So I signed in. I saw there that they actually sent out my letter for the interview. So they have set up the date of when my interview is gonna be. So I was very happy about that. Like, yes, Lord, finally, after a year, I, heard from these people. So the interview was scheduled for February 19 at 11:35 in the morning. So when I got that email on that day, I started studying the Civics Test questions, my N400, the vocabulary that's in that booklet. It gave me about a little over a month since I received the email up to the date of my scheduled interview. So really, I would say I studied every day, every night. So I was watching YouTube videos about, mock interviews. It kind of gave me an idea of how the interview's gonna be like. I would suggest that you guys also watch these videos on YouTube. So anyway, I got my letter for the interview, and it was like, it's a general thing. Like, this is what you're gonna do, this is where you're gonna go, the address is there and all that. Also, they made some changes. It says on my paper that I forgot how exactly it was worded on the paper, but it says like you can't get, you can only get into the building 15 minutes prior to your interview time. During my interview, it was snowing outside, it was icy, the weather condition was really bad, and it was really cold. So my husband and my 2 children were with me, but they stayed in the van, so I was the only one who went inside. However, I met someone there, and she said her interview was at 1 p.m. on that day, but then she was already inside. Like, I was there waiting for my interview, and my interview was at 11:35, but she was already there waiting. Probably some offices would consider that, I don't know. But that was in Philadelphia, so they let her in. So what I did is that the night before the interview, I put all my documents in an envelope. They're all there together, my taxes, my kids' birth certificates, my husband's birth certificate, and all the important documents, our marriage certificates and all that. I put them all in one place, the brown envelope. However, the letter and my green card, I put them separately in my purse so that it's very handy when I get into the entrance. You have to show your letter first and your green card. So then, I could just stick it in my purse right away. So there, when I was done with a security check, we have to wait in line. So there's an iPad set up on the counter, and there's also a temperature scanner there. So the lady, it was just a virtual thing. There was no in-person contact. So the lady would call you, okay, I'm gonna assist the next person, And so, there's no number or anything there. So the lady said, okay, I'm gonna help the next person. So I was the next person. She told me what to do, put my head right in front of the scanner, show the letter, the interview letter, and show the green card. And then she then asked me to proceed to second floor. So when I got to the second floor, there's an officer there, and they asked me, can you show me your interview paper, and then your ID, your green card. And then so he told me where to sit. So anyway, while waiting there, I was like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So a tip for you is that before you go to the bathroom, you should talk to this officer. Sir, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. In case they will call me, my name and my last name is blah blah blah. So I waited there, and I didn't do anything. I shut my phone down, and I was just sitting there. I was just contemplating what to do, praying most of the time, and chit chat a little bit with the other applicants there. And that kind of gave me that, like ease feeling. Like I was so nervous, I was so tense. So I was like, I want, the room is like full of tension. So I want to break the ice. I tried, I started talking to the person right in front of me. So the officer in charge for my interview called my name, and these two people said, yeah, God bless, good luck with your interview. It was a nice feeling that kind of uplifted my spirit, like it was just a wonderful time. So anyway, the officer directed me where to go, and of course the first thing he said was like, hello, how are you doing today? And I said, good, how are you doing? But I was so tensed. It was an in-person interview there in Philadelphia office. There's the officer in the room and you. However, there is this clear glass, in between you. And so then he opened the door to his office, and so he asked me to sit down, and then before I could sit, he asked me a question. How's your spouse treating you? And I was like stunned. I did not expect him to ask me that question right away. I sat down and I said like, oh, my husband drove me here because the weather condition is not good. So I don't trust myself driving in an icy road. So anyway, he was like asking me like, oh, so where are you from? Are you from the Philippines? And I said, yes, I'm from the Philippines and I moved here. This. So it was very spontaneous, and I could not remember some of the things that we talked about at the beginning. He started asking me about Philippines, like what island did I come from? And so I tried to explain to him this, about Philippines. And so he started Googling that information. And I thought in my mind, I was like, is he going to ask me questions about my life in the Philippines, or is he going to ask questions about, like my immigration status here, about my family, my marriage? Okay, so then he asked questions, okay, is your name this and that? And then so is your phone number this and that, blah 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 blah. So basically he was verifying if the information that I put in my N400 form are still correct. Okay, there's an iPad in front of me, and so he said, okay, just click that, sign that, and click. Okay, so after I verified it and signed it, and he started questioning me again. So in between those conversations, he would ask me questions like, okay, so do you have a job? And I said, well, I'm a homemaker. And I said, oh, yeah, you're on vacation, something like that. And he was really in a good mood. And I said, oh, yeah. And I didn't know how to react to that statement. But he was like, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. That's what he said. Yeah, so I don't have a job. And I'm taking care of my children. So then we started talking about travels, And so I mentioned to him that I was in the Philippines a few years ago, and I've been to other country like Canada and blah blah blah. So, and that is what I wrote in my N400. So instead of him asking me those questions of like, okay, have you ever traveled? Somehow I just gave it away. Like, okay, this is what I wrote in my N400. Maybe you'll ask me this question, but that was in my mind. So I just kind of gave it away during our conversation. So while we were talking, he suddenly said, question number 1. So I was like, oh my, he's already asking me civics questions. So he was very spontaneous. There was no saying of like, okay, we're gonna begin the civics test, or okay, this is gonna be your reading test. So anyway, the questions he asked me, this is in no particular order. He asked me, we elect a president for how many years? And the answer is 4 years. Who does a U.S. senator represent? So all people of his state. And what do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? And the answer is the flag of the United States. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? 2 years. Who is the first, or who was the first president? And George Washington. And then the last was name one state that borders Mexico, and I answered Texas. So he did not proceed any more to the next question because I assumed that I got the 6 questions right. So after that, he like, okay, click, click, click on the computer, or what he was doing there, he was printing something. And then after that, asked me the part 12 of the N400, which is the have you ever not filed federal, state, local tax, blah, blah, blah. Have you called yourself a non-US resident, blah, blah, blah. I think he asked me about 6 questions from the part 12 of that form. So after that, he asked me to sign something again on the iPad. He started another conversation, and it was about stock market, which I really did not understand stock market, by the way, guys. I did not pretend that I know a lot about stocks. At the back of my mind, it was like, is the interview done? Or is he gonna ask me more questions? Is this his way of just, making me comfortable here because I was so tense, or what? I was just lucky that the officer who interviewed me was very friendly, and that he did not give me a hard time during the interview. So anyway, after the conversation, he printed a N652 form, and he told me, congratulations, you passed the test. Your oath-taking ceremony will be on March 8th. And he said that I should be receiving a letter in the mail. So after I heard the congratulations, I had the biggest smile. Just got done with the interview and I passed! Thank you, Lord! So to those of you who are planning to apply for your naturalization, I wish you luck. And to those who have started already, I also wish you luck. And I study the N400 form and just be yourself during the interview. So I hope you find this video helpful for your future interview. And it's a nice feeling to share with you guys what my experience was. And yeah, so I'm going to share with you in my next video the oath-taking ceremony. So for now, I'm just going to leave you here, and good luck.